Welcome to Michigan's WW1 Centennial News Report for December 2017. Wartime Recipes. We're going to take a look at some recipes from the Pillsbury Cookbook from 1914. Also, an update on Michigan's WW1 Centennial Commission. They had their first meeting and elected officers. The State Report on Friday, December 15th, 2017 at 10 a.m. at the Department of Military and Veteran Affairs, Michigan's WW1 Centennial Commission had its first meeting. Major General Vadnais called the meeting to order, and the first item on the agenda was the election of officers. Dennis Skupinski was elected chairperson from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Vice chair was Mark Sutton from Eaton Rapids, and secretary was Kelly Kasperzicki from Jackson, Michigan. Just a reminder to check the latest events for Michigan's WW1 Centennial. Please go to ww1cc.org/Michigan. 1 century ago, December 1917. On December 2nd, 1917, suspension of hostilities between the Russian and German armies begins. December 3rd, 1917, the Battle of Cambrai ends. The battle at Cambrai is famous for the large number of tanks that were used during the battle. This is the first time that armored vehicles were used extensively. On December 6, 1917, Finland declares its independence from Russia. On the morning of December 6, 1917, in Halifax Harbor, Nova Scotia, the Norwegian vessel SS Imo collided with SS Mont Blanc, a French cargo ship laden with high explosives. In the Narrows, a strait connecting the upper Halifax Harbor to Bedford Basin, a fire on board a French ship ignited her cargo, causing a large explosion that devastated the Richmond district of Halifax. Approximately 2,000 people were killed by the blast, debris, fires, or collapsing buildings, and an estimated 9,000 others were injured. The blast was the largest man-made explosion before the development of nuclear weapons, releasing the equivalent of roughly 2.9 kilotons of TNT. On December 6, 1917, the United States Battleship Division under Rear Admiral Rodman joins the British Grand Fleet at Scapa Flow. December 7, 1917, the United States declares war on the Austro-Hungarian Empire. On April 6, when the United States declared war on Germany, it decided to postpone the discussion about war against the Austro-Hungarian Empire because it was not engaged in warfare on the seas against U.S. citizens. Also on December 7, 1917, the truce between Russia and the Central Powers comes into effect. Arriving in France on December 7, 1917, the U.S. Army's 42nd Division, also known as the Rainbow Division because it had National Guard troops from throughout the United States. Among its ranks were Colonel Douglas MacArthur. On December 11, 1917, with the city of Jerusalem surrendered to the British Empire, General Edmund Allenby entered the Holy City on foot through the Jaffa Gate, instead of on horse or in vehicles, to show his respect for the Holy City. He was the first Christian in many centuries to control Jerusalem, a city held by three great religions. The Prime Minister of the British Empire, David Lloyd George, described the capture as a Christmas present for the British people. December 11, 1917, 13 Negroes from the U.S. Army's 24th Infantry Regiment were hung in Houston, Texas, as a result of the Houston riots, which happened in August 1917. December 26, 1917, the U.S. federal government took over operational control of American railroads for the duration of the World War. Our first recipe is going to be French salad dressing. What you'll need is olive oil, onion juice, vinegar, salt, and pepper. You'll need 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1/2 teaspoon of onion juice, 1 tablespoonful of vinegar, 1/2 teaspoonful of salt, and 1/4 tablespoon of pepper. Add the salt, pepper, and onion juice to the vinegar. Mix with the oil quickly and pour over the salad. This is the most popular of all salad dressings. Our second wartime recipe is going to be split pea soup. This is what you're going to need: peas, water, milk, onion, butter, salt, white pepper, salt pork, and flour. Soak the peas overnight, drain, and then add the water, salt pork, and onion sliced. The piece of salt pork should be a 2-inch cube of pork. Simmer until the peas are very soft and then rub through a sieve. Cream the butter and the flour together and then add to the peas. Then add salt, pepper, and milk. Reheat and serve when hot. Now your wartime recipe split pea soup is ready to serve on those cold winter days. Our third wartime recipe is going to be Spanish hash. You're going to need 1 cup of roast meat, any kind, 4 cold boiled potatoes, 2 small onions, Tabasco sauce, pepper, and salt, 1 green pepper, 1 egg, and 1 cup of canned tomatoes. Chop together your 4 cold boiled potatoes, which means you boil them and then you let them cool and then chop them up into small sections, with your onions and green pepper, and then add 1 cup of chopped cold roast meat and a cup of tomatoes. Season with salt and pepper and 3 drops of Tabasco sauce. Then add the egg, well beaten. Add the contents to a baking dish and bake at 400 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. After 30 to 40 minutes, your Spanish hash should be complete. One of the things I found to modify this recipe was using 2 eggs instead of 1, and instead of covering with tomato sauce after it's been baked, I preferred salsa. All of these wartime recipes will be on Michigan's WW1 Centennial Facebook page, and I hope you decide to try some of your own wartime recipes so you can experience history instead of just reading about it.
They were summoned from the hillside, they were called in from the glen, and the country found them ready at the stirring call for men. Let no tears add to their hardships as the soldiers pass along.